Dan, you are a massive fan of The Witcher 3, mate.
I'm hyperventilating. I've been waiting so long for this, and it's almost a shame that it's finally come, because that means that The Witcher may well be over, or at least in this, unless Geralt.
I mean, they'll make books and stuff, but you've just said it's been a long time coming. You've just made me realise. Hang on,
May.
The Witcher 3 was last year.
May last year.
It was over, this is over a year.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, that's some
still
serious
fucking
support.
incredible. I must have put 200 hours into The Witcher, and it's so good. I love it.
Blood and Wine is the latest and last DLC.
Yes.
The last paid DLC of 2, I think. And it's reviewing very well. You're reviewing it.
In current doing, yeah.
And I've played 2 hours of it. I'll tell you this much: The Witcher 3 has changed from when I reviewed the original base game, because I haven't played.
Well, they've
this
just
game
done up.
since then.
They've done a new update, like a new patch, and they've done up all the menus
Menus
and
have changed,
stuff. I don't know if you'd count that into the DLC because it's just a patch.
No, it's just an update.
I'm confused how to review it again a bit, but since we're talking about all new Witcher stuff, the new menus and everything make everything so much better. Everything looks so much organised.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
makes
a
it a better
testament
game.
to how much work they're still putting into this game right now. Makes me want to play it all again. Just know that they've got menus. It's so good, man.
So I mean, I've actually my save is long gone. Long story that I won't bore our viewers with, but the way I approached this DLC was that each if people don't know, each DLC, well, each of the 2 story DLCs, you can start without having a save. You can just go, right, I want to start, and what it does, it loads you into a save with a Geralt leveled appropriately, with you to put all your points and spec, yourself, but you can't touch the story. It's basically the story complete. You can go and do side stuff, but you can't do any story missions there. It's basically like you finished the game. And by that, I found it very difficult, because I don't think that's the way you play The Witcher 3. Like, not in my save.
You need to build your own character, have your own weapons.
You build it slowly, and whereas at the moment I'm like, shit, I don't know, do I just throw everything into physical? I suppose I should, and then you realise you can't.
Nah, do the sign. Make sure you can block arrows, and then get attack power up a bit, and then just power up Gwent and Igni. And
that's it, Gwent's
when you're
cracking,
buzzing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's brilliant.
So,
it's absolutely
brilliant. It starts well, this deal. I've only played the first 2 hours, maybe a little bit more.
So shall we say, have you fought the Shalmar?
I can't remember. Yes, I have, yeah, in the arena.
That was a bastard of a fight, that was.
See, that's the one I found easy, because I realised after dying once what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it took me a couple of times to be honest with you.
But this DLC, like, the first 2 hours, it's kind of three boss fights.
Yeah, I think there's a giant, and there's Shalmar, and... Oh, the
Bruska before, which was actually the hardest one for me. Especially like not being spec'd as my Geralt. Does it continue like that? It is. Okay.
Not quite as intently.
No, not like every fight.
There's another boss fight actually quite soon after where you are actually.
Oh shit! Okay.
But I've not. And then there's a few, obviously, because after that, like initial beginning, then you get all your witch contacts that you can go and do in your own time and do one more if you get me. But there are a few more. There are quite a few more, a lot more than the last one. But it's a thing they've like kind of. It's been a theme of the DLCs. It's like with Hearts of Stone and now Blood and Wine, that to make the boss fight seem a bit more grander, and especially in Hearts of Stone, just for example, like they made them feel a lot harder, and that you had to do tactically and use the appropriate signs and stuff. And it carried it on with Blood and Wine. It's paid off really well. It's some really great fights in it actually.
It's very story heavy as well, right at the start. It's
Can we talk about the beautiful Toussaint? Because I want to tell you about Toussaint.
We can. I thought you were going to say, can we spoil the?
Oh no,
the handkerchief. I can't.
Oh, that was funny. We can do that, but it's not the best.
I don't think we can spoil what it says, but it's very, very.
Mate, you've not even got to the best mission yet. There's a mission.
Really?
There's a side mission that you can only come across if you happen to stumble across this crying woman in the middle of outside a house, and it's the best fourth wall breaking I've ever seen in video games. It's so funny, and it's like such a dig at themselves how they do it. And honestly, you'll laugh when you see it. You'll either laugh or you'll be like, you can't make fun of something and then continue to do it. Rah rah rah. It's one of them. It's so funny.
Is it one of? Is it like in the? This is.
No, it's not quite like that.
Is it the goat? Is it like the goat thing where he goes?
No, they're taking the mick a little bit out of their own technical frailties, shall we say? You'll get it as soon as you get it.
Okay with that.
Soon as it's funny. It's really funny. They do. It's not like they're taking a dig out of the mechanics.
Right.
But they're making a dig at something.
You know what I mean
happens.
about the goat,
yeah,
right?
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
Where he's literally like, I've really got to fucking catch this goat, and then you have to carry on catching the goat.
Forget about the goat. We're not here to scorn. Because this place, Toussaint, is basically the Northern Kingdoms, where you play most of the game, and the rest of the Northern Kingdoms. In the books and in the games, they are war-torn countries. They are places where each each of the 4 kingdoms are at each other's throats. Kings are getting murdered left, right, and centre. There's an impending invasion from the Southern Empire.
That's right. Yep.
It's a turmoil. Now, Toussaint is like a vassal state of Nilfgaard, so it's in Nilfgaard, I think. And while Nilfgaard technically rule it, they let them pretend that they don't because they're all chivalrous.
This is basically Parisian France.
Yeah, it's like
it really is. I mean,
France.
they even speak with the French accent.
Yeah,
well, I think it's French.
And it's basically it's a magical kingdom it's like the typical fairy tale kingdom inside this kind of subvertive like wanton medieval village.
Because that's
like,
another
place.
joke they make, isn't it? Geralt's literally at the start talking about like, oh, you know, when I think of Toussaint, I think of he says like pixies and something like that, and then literally a giant breaks through.
Yeah.
And
well, he has a lot. He has a history with Toussaint from the books, and you're probably never going to read them. So basically, there's a point in the books where he has to either recover or just like gather himself in Toussaint with Anna Henrietta, who is the princess you meet.
Yep.
In the book, and in the books, she there's a thing where they end up in Toussaint with Dandelion and all the party, and basically Dandelion's banned from Toussaint, and they all think it's because.
Are you spoiling?
I'm spoiling the books, but it's nothing in the game.
Which
so
he is referred to by her.
He is, but it's only knowing. It's like knowing glances for the readers and stuff. And basically, everyone thinks that it's because he had an affair or whatever. But he had an affair, but it's because the husband cheated her, like chased him away. And since the husband's dead, he then gets back with Hannah Henrietta. Then right at the end of the books, they go back to Toussaint where Dandelion stayed after they all left, and it turns out Dandelion's about to be hanged in the square because he cheated on her.
Jesus.
And then she lets her go in the end. So it's just really funny. She's a good character, and obviously, I don't know if you've met him yet, the vampire who you're friends with.
I haven't. I literally left it last when I was. You go and you realise where the next. Because we haven't even talked about this. It's kind of a murder mystery, and I've left it where you literally realise who the third murderer, third victim is going to be.
Yeah. Oh, the fourth victim.
And she rips her skirt off, and you rush off and have
and that's
to.
That's a great scene with Anna because she's like footless, and she plays
Dignitary,
the princess.
suddenly rips her skirt off.
Yeah, and not soon after you meet another character from the books who is brilliant. He's probably one of my favourite characters. I never thought I'd see him in the game, and it's so good. Like they nail the characters so well from the books, like Anna, Milton, the character you're about to meet called Regis. He's so good. And they nail it so well. It's just so satisfying to know that they just get the source material so well and have made such a great achievement with everything they've done. It's honestly brilliant.
Is this the best DLC for the game? Do you think, of the two?
It depends what you rate more, because whilst I like the main story in this, and there's loads of good side quests in it, it drags a little bit, and it is just, as you say, it is just a bit of a murder mystery thing. It's good, but I don't think the emotional stakes are quite as high as what Heart of Stone was, because Heart of Stone it didn't have its own world, did it? It was set in like most of Heart of Stone was set in the map, part of the map where you never really went to in the game. So it felt new, and I'm pretty sure they added new places in the map. But
this is properly
this is its own world, so it depends what you rate more. Because I thought the Heart of Stone, so far the Heart of Stone story was better. It was better than the main game, the Hearts of Stone's main story, because the emotional stakes were so high, and it was some really good twists in it, and it was short and concise, and it was really good. But you get a whole new world, so many new quests, new Gwent cards.
I've purposefully avoided even trying Gwent because last time I did that, because basically I finished the game for review and it was on a pre-release build, like debug build, and then I started the game again on retail PS4 to just make sure everything married up with what I was saying about that build. And I thought, I'm actually going to go through this again, and then I got waylaid with hours of Gwent, and I just thought, I have to give up. I spent too long playing Gwent.
I've spent my second playthrough just playing it every chance I get. It's so good. Like, there's a quest in this where you have to you get these new. They tell you to enter this tournament, you have to get the rest of these cards, and they give you like 10 great games to go and play. And I played them all in one go. It's just so good. But I think my favourite thing about this though is that you can just tell the writers are having so much fun. Like, obviously the main story is still still dark and gloomy and stuff. But there's so many side quests which are so funny and just so many nice lines. Can I briefly spoil some?
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I don't know.
I might ruin some moments, but I feel like I should. I'll try and say it in brief. But there's, the Fist of Fury side missions where you go and fight people. And become a champ. So there's 2 moments in this one where there's one where you can literally just have a rhyme off with someone, and then you win the fight. And then there's another one where it ends up this fighter's masked and never talks and stuff like that. It turns out she's a woman, and you can just say, it's the 13th century. I don't expect to hear, oh my god, it's a woman from someone who's scared to lose or something like that. And it's just like, so many nice little commentaries and funny moments that, and I'm not going to ruin that mission I was talking about earlier, but it's so fucking funny. It's like, you can just tell they're having a ball with it. And it's just really nice to see a studio with so much freedom and joy put into their work. I really like it.
Fair enough. It sounds like a very
I would say there is one problem. There's a couple of problems. I feel like it runs. I feel like the DLC runs a lot better.
Yeah.
Have you not probably noticed? And because they've added a new Gwent book that tells you how many cards you need to collect for the trophies. I had to run back to Novigrad at one point, and it runs so much better into Toussaint. Like the frame rate's a lot more solid, and there's not many weird clips. But alas, there was a bug on a mission, which literally I think it's a mission called something, the wobble of a smitten knight, something like that, and you're about to do a tutorial about riding a horse tournament, and it just doesn't let you ride anywhere. And then as I continued with the story, eventually that quest got failed because I went past a certain point.
Past a certain point, yeah.
And because it never tells you what missions you're going to fail if you go past it. It was quite annoying. So.
Oh really? Because it does in the main game, doesn't it?
Does it?
Like it does,
no, it never tells you until you've failed it.
Well, there's a point in the main game, and I'm not going to spoil it just in case, but there's a point where it literally says, look, if you go here, you will fail these. These are the 5 quests you're going to fail.
See, he never told me that the quests these are the ones I'd fail, and he didn't do it in this bit either, which was quite disappointing to me because I don't like missing stuff.
I'm sure it does. I mean, there's definitely a point where it says, listen, you're going into the end game.
It says
and
you're going to miss them, but it never tells you if there are any that you're going to miss.
I'm sure it does in the main game. I'm sure it does because I remember being underleveled, and it's a point where you get on a boat, and I remember I had to go, oh, actually, no, if I'm underleveled in this game, I need to go back and do those, and I'm going to fail them. Yeah. Anyway, look.
Yeah, it's really good. I love it so much.
This is really good. It's a fitting finale for The Witcher.
Really, yeah,
we don't know what happened next. I mean, they got Cyberpunk 2077.
Which there could be a link with Witcher, because if you didn't know, there is a big Cyberpunk what's it called? Easter egg in The Witcher, where she says. Where your man Ciri says she spends time in another world, and it's a world with robots and stuff. So they've been in that world.
It's probably just like an Ubisoft style.
It's definitely connected. The point of The Witcher is that there's loads of different worlds and stuff, and in The Witcher books, Ciri goes to our world. So it's loads of nice interesting. So you never know. Could see robotic witches and stuff. That'd be amazing. I'd love it. I love this game.
We'll find out.
Hopefully we get another one someday.
You do, and I'm sure you'll hear Dan talk more about it on the podcast, which you can find at GodisaGeek.com. Dan's at Mabrowski on Twitter, and of course at GodisaGeek is the big one. Make sure you go to GodisaGeek.com because you'll read Dan's review of this very DLC. Otherwise, thanks for your time, Dan, and we'll see you later.
See you in a bit.
I'll ask Palmer in to get me in to see the Duchess.
Should have backed the GodisaGeek Patreon.